What's up, everybody? I am so excited for another episode of Non-Gamers React, where I invite classical people, classical experts,
classical people
from the opera and classical music industry to come and listen to, or any industry really that is involved in music, to come and listen to video game music. Today, I have friend, almost official, basically agent. I would say there was like a period of like maybe like 4 years where I felt like we were definitely freelancing and working together, and we were speaking pretty frequently. And in fact, one of my first professional gigs came from you. Remember that? The RPO.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Of course.
That was special.
That was fun.
That was fun.
And you were good.
I wasn't bad.
I wasn't bad.
As at like 24, I think. It was young. Anyway,
nah,
this is Aaron Grant. Aaron, tell the people who you are and what you do.
My name's Aaron Grant. I live in New York. I run my own company at the moment as a classical music strategist. I've worked at a number of management agencies, a number of young artist programs. I've produced a number of things, and so I've kind of done it all from the bottom to the top. And I've known Marco for a long time, and consider him a good friend. And so while this makes me very uncomfortable, we're gonna go ahead and do this, where Marco's gonna give me a bunch of stuff that I know nothing about.
What's also funny is that this is sort of roles reversed, because when I first met you, I was the one who was uncomfortable, because people don't know, but like one of the big, I mean, obviously if you know voiceover folks, you know that agents are a thing, but like, you know, Aaron was probably the first, I think you were the first one to really take a vested interest in what I had to say. And at the time you were at a major like management company that was insane. I mean, it was scary for me. So it's very funny now to be controlling the narrative.
It's people that you know. And so it's like, it was me, and it was Jeffrey, and it was Bill, and it was you, and it was Brian. And, you know, we won't share all of the last names, but it's like, that's why we got to know each other, and that's why we're doing this today, is because we stayed in touch. And because, you know, when you find somebody who's a good person, you want to keep in touch with them, and you want to help them, and, you know, they want to help you. So I'm happy.
After all, I mean, that's the name of the game, isn't it? Being a good person.
That is, one of my clients always said in opera, it's like, show up on time, be a good colleague, and know your music. That's it. Those are the three. That's it.
The rest is kind of up to God, isn't it?
The rest you can't control. Those three things you can control, but the rest of it, like, God help you.
Briefly, you know nothing about video. I mean, you've dabbled, you've tasted it, but you've never actually like sat down and committed to a.
I'm really terrible. Every time I try a video game, it fails. So this is me putting out into the world my failure at trying to play any sort of video game. I'm real bad.
So I want to take it all the way back. So one of the first pieces of video game music that was ever actually produced was from a game called Rally X. Rally X came out in 1980 in North America. This was literally one of the first pieces of video game music to actually have, or one of the first pieces of video games to have like a full-on melody line and development. You know, what's amazing to me about that is that it's literally made on a computer. It's essentially like computer programming and stuff. Obviously there, to me, the main thrust is melody. And I guess my question is, A, what do you think of that? And B, how important is melody to you as a general musical idea?
I mean, I like that it's, you know, it's very palatable. It's just a ba 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 da ba 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 ba, but then it switches it up a little bit, and so it makes you more interested. And then let's not forget the fact that you have the percussion in the background, like bum 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 bum, and it just kind of keeps you going. And it's like, okay, so it's like you're kind of at a nightclub. It's just like bum 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 bum. Yeah, exactly. But it's like, no, like that's fantastic. Like who can argue with that?
In a way, it's sort of interesting how simple things had to be, but because they were simple and because what we had was what we had, you weren't able to produce. No, actually, you don't fully know what things sound like now. So, I mean, when you think of video game music, what do you think? Do you think of like beeps and boops and this sound?
I kind of think of that, but I watched a couple of your previous casts before, so like I'm a little bit more educated. I like to do my homework, but that's the kind of thing that I think of, and it's like I think that it's perfectly fine. And so the idea would be, what do you do with that in the modern age? It's like, can you take that? And can you have some modern composer turn that into something that is with orchestra or with voice or with something? Because it's like, that's fine. It's already stuck in my head. If I'm walking down the street trying to go to the subway, it's just like, ba 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 da da ba ba.
That makes one of us. I don't think I could, but I respect.
Oh, I totally would. Are you kidding me? I totally would.
You know what? Before we pivot to, I kind of had like a gradual journey, but most of it's like, obviously because of your background, a lot of it's vocal music, but I was going to take us on a tiny history lesson. But before we do that, I figure this is actually from a game called Crypt of the Necrodancer. It's actually 10 years old at this point, but check this out. This is a sort of evolution of that sound.
Oh, well, okay. Okay, we can stop.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I liked it at first, and then the vocals came in, and it's just like, I can't with that. Like, it makes no sense. Where it's just like, it's all like, I don't know what else to say other than it makes no sense. I was enjoying it up until the fact where it's like, oh, and now here are some electronic singers that are just like that. I don't get it. It's not my taste. I don't think it's bad, but it's not my taste, if that makes any sense.
It does, of course. What's interesting is that this is actually, that's the theme that plays when you enter into, so this is actually a rhythm game, and a rhythm game, in this particular case, you have to match the beat as you walk. And so as you hit enemies, you're matching the beat, boom, 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 boom. And then when you enter into the area where there's a shopkeeper, the shopkeeper, that's actually the shopkeeper's theme. So it takes the theme of the area, and then once you enter into the shopkeep is singing to you, which is why that exists.
Once you explain it, it makes more sense. But it's like, as we were just talking about, like the thing that you played before, like, would I listen to that on the way to the subway? Yeah. Would I listen to this in my AirPods on the way to the subway? Absolutely not. Because then you get, and like, I don't care for that. If it's a sensory experience and it's like you're gaining something from it, I get it. And so I just want to make it perfectly clear. I'm not like an opera snob where everything has to be classically sung. Like, if you look at my playlist on YouTube Music, which I use, by the way, if you look at my playlist, it's like 10% opera.
Mine is currently 0.
Okay, yeah, currently 0. That's fine. But it's like most of opera, it's like if I want to listen to it, then I know exactly what I want and fine. If I'm looking for new music to listen to that I think would be interesting and can get me on my commute to work, then it's like I kind of want to listen to something else.
I call that the car test. Can you listen to this while on a drive or in the car or in a, on transportation or something, and how does it make you feel? I
appreciate that. And I was actually speaking to 2 people who shall remain unnamed. They were talking about the fact that they actually love theater more than they love opera. Even though they're working a lot in opera, theater actually makes them feel more like a person. And then we were talking about a mutual friend of ours who goes on YouTube and listens to opera all the time. And it's just like, here's this recording from 1950, and here's another recording from 1970, and here's one from 1982. And it's just like, and they love it. It just depends on what your taste is. If you absolutely love opera, then good for you. If you have different tastes, good for you. It doesn't matter. It's just like, it is, you like what you like.
I think a lot of folks have probably felt a big stigma over the years. I don't know if I think still to a degree, where people feel that this kind of music, we'll get into this as we get into more modern sound. Maybe not that. Maybe actually we'll put a pin in that conversation, because I don't think.
Okay.
The point of that was that that's sort of a, not exactly one-to-one, but that's kind of a modern take. There's definitely better examples. That was just the first one that came to mind. I thought singer. Let me put in that. If Aaron wants to come back and we want to listen to some parallel 8-bit, 16-bit modern approaches, that would be awesome, because like I'm blanking out right now. We're moving further into the 90s here. Did you ever play Street Fighter growing up?
Let's say no.
This is Guile's theme from Street Fighter 2. Guile is like an all-American man. I don't know what state he's from. I looked it up. What do you think of Guile's theme?
I would say that I like it less than the previous one. I mean, it's like it's fine, but it's just kind of like bump bump ba bump bump ba bump. And then it's like there's a little bit of variation in the
Yeah.
It's like a little bit, but it's like kind of that's kind of something that I would think it's like, okay, it's the end of the game and we're playing it out, and like you don't really have to listen to it, as opposed to like, oh, this is like super exciting and you're on a journey and it's like that's the music that's playing. It's a little to me, again, I could absolutely be wrong, that one is not as exciting for me. I don't know why.
Does it feel plotty or like a little bit sort of like maybe not simple, but you know what I mean? Like it feels like it kind of just trugs along.
Yeah, it seems like we kind of like came up with a formula and we're just going to use the formula. And so it's like we could use the same formula for like 10 other things. And so it's like, here's the formula. It's ba 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 da ba 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 da ba ba-da-ba. And it's just like, we could use that in 10 other games. And so, like,
Yeah.
I don't find that one to be super interesting or super unique. It just seems to be like, we're plodding along and, like, it works. It's fine. Nobody's going to hate it.
Yeah, no, it's pleasant.
Yeah, it's pleasant. Nobody's going to be mad about it. But, like,
Yeah,
is it terribly interesting? In my opinion, no.
Do you feel like you're a person who loves like bangers, like music that just like gets your dopamine hit, like, or do you like a wide? I assume you like a wide variety of different kind of.
I like a wide variety, yeah. And so it's like, again, like, it wasn't bad, but like,
Yeah, it just didn't do anything.
it really didn't do much for me.
What's fascinating to me is that this music comes with so much nostalgia for so many people. It's also interesting how like music and the awakening to music or to a sensation or an experience is so unique based on the individual. Like, I don't think I had my operatic awakening. I'd actually be curious to hear about yours. Like, my operatic awakening probably didn't happen until I heard, oh God, I think it might have been Bohème, where I was like, oh my God, right? And then I remember how much I resisted like Benjamin Britten and like Ray Lucretia and Peter Grimes, and because I remember I was listening to it and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I would like turn
Yeah, I know.
and, like La Bohème and Pavarotti, really, I felt really like Daughter of the Regiment. I would like literally sit in an undergrad and like look at myself in the mirror while singing along to it. It was just like bandful joy. And you know, what was the first moment that you felt like you connected with music?
Originally, I was a music education major at Kansas State University, and then because of personal reasons, I decided to move to Norman, Oklahoma, and go to the University of Oklahoma. And I auditioned for them, and they said, "Oh, you should be a performance major." And so then my first role was, oh God, what is it, Baron Dufault in Traviata.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the smallest role in the world. And it was like, oh, like, I guess I'm an opera singer now. And then I just sort of like traveled down the road. And then I would say that my favorite role that I ever sang was Bottom in Midsummer. And that took many, many years. But it's just like, I fell in love with that role. And it's like that Midsummer I would listen to any day. A lot of operas that I've sung in, like I don't really care. Like Elixir, fine. Like, I've done it, and it's like, you know, I'll listen to the aria that I sang and be like, oh yeah, that's a nice memory, but I don't want to sit through the whole thing.
Okay, but like with your current work and then with your, you know, with your management work, I mean, having to travel and listen to clients and be supportive and all that other stuff, like, how do you navigate that? Like, if let's say a client is in something that you absolutely hate, do you still, obviously you just go and be supportive and put your smile on, and how do you mitigate that as like an agent, let's say?
No, I very much, I like to work with people that I believe in. And I think that that's very important. There are some times where there are clients who like are very good and are getting a lot of work, but it's not necessarily to my taste.
Yeah.
But it's to a lot of other people's taste. And so I'm willing to represent those people because other people think that it's great. And so I think that that's an important thing, is that not everybody is to everybody's taste. Everybody has their own thoughts. Everybody has their own experience. Everybody has their own, you know, brand of what they like to hear. And so it's like, if you hear, you know, a tenor in La Bohème and you're like, not my favorite tenor. And then you hear another tenor in La Bohème. It's like, that one's great. It might mean that your taste is different than somebody else's taste. And the tenor that you didn't like is going to be rehired because everybody else liked them.
Likes it. Yeah, I know. It's funny.
And so that's a hard thing in management, where it's just like, you have to mitigate what your particular taste and your particular brand is and who you believe in. And you have to balance that with, well, what does everybody else like? Because you can like somebody as much as you want, but if nobody else likes them, then they're not going to get any work. They're not going to make any money. Henceforth, you're not going to make any money, and everybody's going to be unhappy. You have to balance it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting because that's actually not totally dissimilar to how the YouTube game is played. Obviously, the algorithm follows the audience, and so like, if your audience doesn't watch something, you can blame being shadow banned, which is, whatever. But like ultimately it's because your audience that you either A, curate, B, comes to you, C, you hopefully it's not dissimilar. Let's say an opera company loves, I don't know, Bluebeard's Castle as a don't worry about it, guys.
That's a weird reference. Okay.
But like let's say a company loves it. You can't expect it doesn't matter how good Bluebeard's Castle is, it will not sell tickets.
Correct.
But if you program, the Carmens, the Barbers, the whatever, they'll come. And it's not dissimilar to how YouTube works, where it's like, there's a game based off of Chopin. It's a fictional Chopin, like you play as Chopin, the composer.
That's what a stupid game. Why would anyone play that?
Dies and like she sings an aria at the end. It's really fun. Anyway, oh God, what is the name of that game, guys? I can't remember. Anyway, off the top of my head. But the
you can't remember it because it's dumb.
It's actually cute, but
fine.
It's actually cute. But to be,
I mean, I would play it and I would fail. Fine.
You have a lot of trauma.
I do
with gaming.
Thank you for acknowledging it.
We're gonna chip away at that today. In this
do you have a therapist on hand?
$150. I'll do it. Point is, like, I could love that piece, and I might think it's the best thing ever, but it's not going to get views. So there's this balance of like not selling out, but also understanding the line that one has to tread. So for instance, for me, what I've started doing is doing genre videos. So if like I know something will be popular, I'll put that and then I'll mix it in with, it's kind of like scheduling a season where you're scheduling the season with a Figaro, a Bohème, and then you got the weirdo who, maybe no one comes to, but that you've been able to like sort of encapsulate, cause you don't want to abandon stuff. You know what I mean? That's how we lose pieces, I
mean, that's always the big, how do we do this? Because you're always trying to engage new audiences, but you're also trying to engage with your traditional audience.
Right.
And so, in my work at Aspen, in my work at Music Academy in Santa Barbara, in my work at Arizona, when we're looking at what are we programming, it's really hard because you want to be innovative, but you also don't want to alienate the audiences who have been coming here for 20 years, but also you don't want to just do the same thing over and over again. Exactly. And so I appreciate what you're saying because there actually is no good answer. The answer
and every company does it differently.
And every company does it differently. The answer is you're going to do what you're going to do, and you're going to put your best faith efforts behind it and try to make it successful. But it's like, if you're looking at a company, it's like they're doing too much modern work. It's like, that's not true. They're just doing a lot of modern work. If you look at a company and say they're doing too many traditional shows, not true. Like, they're just trying to engage their audience. And that's where the development department comes in and the marketing department comes in. And they say, this is how we sell our tickets. And frankly, it's how we keep the lights on.
And no one can begrudge that. And that's also the thing about, a lot of sponsorships come up on YouTube. And obviously, like, they that can push people because it makes them feel as though, it's about money all the time. And it's like, but at the same time, like, you got to keep the lights on. I want to keep doing this for as long as possible. So you have to, balance it.
Yeah. And everyone criticizes the Met, and it's like, it's easy to criticize the Met. And like, I have my ideas about what I think the Met is doing right and doing wrong. But at the end of the day, it's what they decide to do and to engage as many artists as they can from a bunch of different places and make sure that they're selling tickets to shows that people actually want to see. And so it's a balancing act. It's really hard. And so every time somebody's like, oh, fuck so-and-so opera company, fuck this symphony, fuck whatever, it's like, I guarantee that they're doing the best that they can. They might not be making the right decisions, but their hearts are in the right place, I think.
Yeah. It's a really interesting conversation then. And hopefully you guys just got a big look at how the opera industry, but also
also fuck opera. Also, there's that. Yeah,
that's a whole separate can of worms. Let's pivot over to. So I want to keep us melody center here. So Sonic the Hedgehog. Do you know anything about Sonic the Hedgehog?
You push A and B, and then he runs, and he gets the coins.
Yes.
Something like
Rings.
that?
The rings.
The rings.
I used to call them coins.
Okay, I was close.
Your brain rot.
Yeah.
You were close. That's right. We'll take it. This is one of the more famous Sonic pieces. This is Green Hill Zone. We're staying in this sort of 90s area right now.
Yeah, okay. I mean, okay.
You don't like Green Hill Zone?
No, it's not bad. It's like it kind of, in my opinion, it prattles on for some time, and it's like, okay, yeah, I got it. Like you can stop doing that now, and then it modulates, and you're like, oh, okay, well, it's all right. Yeah. Now we're going somewhere, and then it goes back, and it prattles on for some time, and it's like, oh, we're back. And so, like, what I think is, like, if I were hearing that, like, in a live performance venue, would I be having a good time? As we were talking about before, where it's like, oh, like, you know, this one actually has a singer, and so it's an experience. This one, it's just like, it kind of just goes, ba 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 ba, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, Stop doing that.
So it's not about the loop. It's about the actual, like, melodic structure itself.
I think it's more about the loop, where it's just like it is. I think you're right. It's about the loop, where it's just like, okay, got it. Please stop.
So wait, but what's the like first 30 seconds impression?
The first 30 seconds, like, okay.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Like,
that. That's fine.
Like, not bad. It's just like, okay, this sounds like video game music. To me, like, I'm trying to think of a way that it could be something more or something different, but it's like, it's exactly what it is, in my opinion. It was just like, it's 90s video game music, bum, ba, bum, 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 and it's just like, you can walk away from the TV and not give a shit.
Okay.
It's just
I
like,
totally get that.
Okay, fine. And then it modulates, and it's like, oh, that's a little interesting. And then it goes back, and it's like, ba, 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 and it's like, okay, we already did that.
Well, part of it's because the level has to keep going, right? So that's a part of the limitations of it, is that, like,
well, and so that's the thing that I was actually curious about asking you about, is like, with all of this video game music, how do you look at it where it's like certain parts of it need to be rotating because, you know, somebody's playing the same level, or, you know, somebody's doing the same thing, or it's the end of the road and it's just like needs to play on and on. How do you take that and say, okay, here's something that's going on and on, or it needs to expand and be more interesting as it goes along? I'm completely ignorant on this subject.
No, I mean, it's a double-edged thing, because on the one hand, if we have a level, let's say especially in 90s, we really start to get a shift here, and I will definitely cross into the more modern soundscape, which I think you'll enjoy much more anyway. But like one of the things that's really interesting, I hope, and if you don't,
I might not.
But there's something really interesting that happens because the loop is essential because of the limitations of the technology. So
I understand that.
For me, since melody is king and melody is the most important thing, I look at the melody and I say to myself, do I enjoy this? Do I enjoy how this sounds? Do I feel like this moves me? And also, I will frankly say that because I love it so much, and I've loved it since I was 7 years old. So, I mean, like, not music, but like the act of gaming and, you know, the existence of the system, like the industry. In reality, I only sang opera for 14 years compared to 30 years of playing games. It's amazing how different.
Only 14 years.
Only 14 years.
Only 14 years.
Feels like yesterday. But
Jesus.
My point is that, like, melody is king. So for me, I have a really hard time looking at this stuff with, like, a critical lens, which I would definitely say is a positive and a negative because I love it so much that for me, it's like, Green Hill Zone, fucking bop. You know what I mean? It just works. Yes, but also I come with it knowing that this is just how the technology was. So it's limited, and I think that's really, ultimately that's what you're pointing out, is that it's like, it's nice.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. And it's like, I understand that that's a limitation. I understand that it's like you have to play it over and over again, and you go, ba, 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 and you just do it. And so, like, do I think it's horrid? No. But is it, like, terribly compelling to my soul?
Totally.
No.
And don't forget that we're also missing a key component, which is the context. And being that video game music is entirely programmatic. I'm bringing you here because I want to talk about the music at face value. I think that's really interesting, and I think that there's a lot to be uncovered with professional ears on this music. Also, it exposes us to more of it, right? But furthermore, the context, it's no different than opera. It's a specifically programmatic thing that is required in order for the game. No, okay, it's not required in that you can enjoy games without music, and there's cinematic storytelling games that don't even really need music, and sometimes whatever. But overall, I would say that the crux of this is that you need music to increase the storytelling experience, much in the same way that you need music to even have opera and that storytelling experience.
I agree. And especially with opera, it's like, you know, how often can you put that, and maybe you're going to get to this, but it's like, how often can you put that into a gaming experience? It is like, you know, when I was thinking about, I look forward to it. But it's like, when I was thinking about this interview, I was thinking about the diva dance from, what is it, Fifth Element?
Yes.
And it's just like, okay, that's operatic, but it's also very cinematic and very weird, and people like it. And so it's like, okay, and it also performed very well.
Yes.
I don't remember who the singer was, but it's like, I can't remember, but it was like, it was a good performance. And so that sort of introduced people into opera. It doesn't mean that they're going to go buy a ticket at the Met next week.
Right.
But it does mean that it's like, here's a small introduction. And they're like, oh yeah, like that opera song that I heard from the Fifth Element. That was cool. You probably talked about this before.
I haven't actually, but it's making me think now. All right, I'm going to pivot again. We're staying in this world, but what I want to, this sort of MIDI world, but what I want to draw your attention to is something from Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VI, 1994. Composer Nobuo Uematsu, self-taught. You know, there's a 20-minute, basically, organ concerto at the end of this when you're fighting the final enemy, final boss. We call them bosses. But there is an opera scene, Draco and Maria. And in this particular version, I'm going to play this. This is literally... Actually, yeah, this is fun. All right, I'm going to play this for you.
This is fun?
Yeah, this is fun for me. I'm going to watch the whole thing.
Horrifying for me.
No, this is great. This is literally an opera in MIDI format.
Okay.
In the format that we've sort of been listening to.
I'm into it.
Advanced musically. This is, I believe it's the character named Celis, and they are currently in an opera format. I honestly haven't played Final Fantasy VI. It's on my to-do list. But in this particular scene, the whole opera sequence is called Draco and Maria. And I want to see what references you pick up on, because there's quite a few. Speaking of people being exposed to opera for the first time, We do have visuals here, and so definitely watch along, and let's do it.
Oh, Christ. Okay, no, but this is the thing that makes me nervous, is because it's like, oh, what's the opera reference? And we'd be like, I don't know. And you're like, it's obviously Madame Butterfly. It's like, oh, shit, I missed it.
It's fine. If you miss it, I'll tell you. Plus, I have a video on it that you can watch.
Okay.
She plays Maria. I don't know why I said I didn't know who she plays. It's called Drunk on Maria. I'm stupid. Disregard.
It's fine.
Just roll with it.
I'm rolling with it.
You can choose the lyrics. You can choose the lyrics.
Okay, that's nice.
Listen to it.
Why is she pooping?
She's leading out the window. That's her dress.
Oh, I thought she was pooping.
No.
Where is she going? Just go.
She's going up the stage direction.
Yeah, just fucking go.
She's walking up the stairs for the big second arc.
Oh, here's the baritone.
That's Draco as the tenor.
Oh, it's a tenor.
This is straight out of Lucia the Lovermore. Follow.
Oh. Oh, but he doesn't sing at all.
Oh, see, it was her. It was Lucia. She imagined him there.
Oh.
Because they have unrequited love.
Oh.
She's been forced to marry somebody else.
Yeah, and off we go.
And then we have the moon. You know, this is straight out of like Trovatore. It reminds me of Trovatore Act 1.
Yeah, fine. But it's like, is she gonna jump?
No.
Just jump.
She's just sad. She throws the flowers, though.
Sure.
Anyway, we'll stop there. My point is...
No, I want to finish. I want to finish
All
the scene.
All right, keep going.
I need to know what happens. Yeah, you will.
Shooting stars.
That's cute.
So Prince Ralse is looking for his dance partner.
Yeah.
That's who she's being forced to be married to.
Okay.
My point is that, like, we were talking about exposure, and like that could expose someone to opera.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah. But it's like, my counterpoint would be, that's like, I even had a hard time making that connection between like that. Like, it just sounds like video game music. And so it's like, you would have to explain to someone, oh, this is part of an opera story.
Yeah.
And like, if you're a kid, playing a video game.
You probably
It's
don't give a shit anyway.
It's like, okay. But to your point, like, we might as well try.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like going to where the people are, right? And that's one thing that I've learned. A lot of people have gone to see operas because they've watched the channel and connected with me over video game music that they love. And they've been like, oh, I'm going to see whatever, for the first time. So
yeah,
it's a very interesting.
But and that's why I'm very proud of you. Is just like you're making that connection, which nobody's made before, and so like maybe some more people are going to go see the opera because you're explaining it. But again, it needs to be explained, and that's what you're doing. So yeah, proud of you.
Which is funny, thank you. Which is funny, though, because I have so much baggage against opera.
Totally.
Like, you know what?
Oh,
opera. No.
Join the club.
Anybody that's in it long enough is sort of like, let's pivot to the modern time.
All right.
Let's pivot. We've done enough 80s, 90s. So I want to talk to you about The Legend of Zelda. Do you know what The Legend of Zelda is? You've heard this name.
I believe he has a sword.
Yes, Link. That's Link.
That's Link.
That's the hero. You almost always play as Link. Zelda's the princess.
Okay.
And in this particular theme, this is The Legend of Zelda 25th Anniversary Symphony Ballad of the Goddess from a more recent game called Skyward Sword. Well, not too recent, but recent enough. This is the evolution, if you will, which is interesting because now we move into more orchestral writing. We'll definitely be hearing some vocal writing as well.
Brum, brum, brum. Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of symphony orchestras are doing game music and, film with orchestra and whatever. That, I would listen to that all day. What's wrong with that? Nothing. It's cool. It's well orchestrated. It's an interesting tune. It's played well. And so, what am I supposed to say other than, yeah, that's good? If I were at an outdoor concert, that would be my favorite thing. Like an outdoor concert in Aspen or in Central Park or in Santa Barbara or wherever, and it's like there's an outdoor concert and an orchestra played that, I'd be thrilled.
Does it feel more shallow than some of the other classical pieces that you've heard in your lifetime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it does. No. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, are you playing Shostakovich? No. But it's like, are you playing a piece that people are going to enjoy? Yeah. And so, as we were talking about before, with opera companies and trying to balance their season, when you have, let's say, again, a very good example is a summer festival. And it's like, okay, we're going to do Carmen, but then we're also going to play this for an outdoor concert, and everybody's going to really like it. there's nothing wrong with presenting organizations playing things that people like. And it's not that people don't like Carmen, but it's like, this is palatable. It's understandable. It's just like, it just happens. And you're like, that's great. And it's like, I can take my partner to this, and he'll be like, yeah, I recognize that. As opposed to, we're going to go watch a 3-hour opera. And he's like, okay, all right. Like, yeah, it was good. But it's like, you take somebody who's not totally immersed in classical music, you take them to something like this, and they go, yeah, that was really great. I really liked it. Boom.
I gotta say, we recently saw Wicked on Broadway, and it was mesmerizing.
Okay.
My point.
I think the theater is too. Did you see it on the West Side?
Yeah.
West Side. I think the theater is too big, because it's like they have the whole like defying gravity thing, and it's it's kind of lost if you're like in the balcony. You kind of
actually we're all the way back, and so we missed some of that. But my point is that it's palatable and incredibly successful.
Totally.
And it's like, is that less than this? And maybe that's the wrong way to even look at it. Or maybe I've got my own stigmas about wanting, maybe I'm a pariah. Maybe I want Vivian music to stand, up against opera or something. But it's because opera is sophisticated. Shostakovich, Mahler, sophisticated, broody, intellectual.
We're going to do Mahler. And it's like, pat on the back. We did Mahler. And it's like, yeah, you did Mahler. Okay. Not everybody likes Mahler. Like, it's relatively successful, but not everybody likes Mahler. And so, like, when you pull one off and you're like, pat on the back, good for us, it's like, not always.
Yeah. It's a very interesting thing that, like, the American musical, or the West End, let's say, is typically, I would say, largely incredibly successful 7 days a week. And it's very interesting how with opera, maybe because of a bunch of different, very complex issues we won't get into, opera is less so, right? I mean, like, that's what I came up understanding. So I find the dynamics there between palatable sophistication and the balance of the two is it's almost like a moot point, because it's like, yeah, and?
I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of Broadway, because I've never worked in that world, but I will say in opera right now, things are still suffering from the pandemic and people trying to get back to where they were before. A lot of companies are doing fewer productions. A lot of companies are doing fewer productions and fewer performances. And so all of a sudden you used to have 5 productions with 5 performances each. And now you're doing 3 productions with 3 performances each, and one of them is a concert version. And it's just not. And I don't blame anyone. I think it's a circumstance of what we all went through. God bless the people who are still working at those companies who are trying to keep it afloat. But it's still, everyone's like, oh, the pandemic is over. It's like.
It's a very different experience.
The pandemic is over, but the effects of the pandemic are still very much resonating with opera companies around the United States.
Yeah, it's a really interesting. Well, that's a complex, separate conversation, but
yeah.
1,000,000%. There's a recent game came out called Monster Hunter Wilds, and in Monster Hunter, there's a very lengthy history of, I think since the early thousands, if I recall. The game is what it sounds like. You hunt giant monsters with big-ass or small swords, and there's even a hunting horn, which is literally like you're putting button inputs, and they're all musical notes. It's very charming. Recently, they've been honoring their past. This game seems to be connected to a previous series, and there's something called the Diva. And the Diva comes to this area called the Gathering Hub, and she sings every night. And she sings... and she sings... Well, let me just... You might think Uncanny Valley.
I like it. Okay.
Let's see what we think. And watch the visuals.
I am.
Good. She's singing her aria.
If we must. gotta modulate.
Gotta modulate. Shouldn't close her eyes, though.
I did.
Not technically.
Jesus, how long does this go on?
We can stop there.
Okay, we can stop.
Okay, all right, what happened?
It's first. I don't find the song to be particularly compelling. I think the vocalism is healthy enough and fine, but it sounds a little AI. Like, if that's an actual person, which I'm not sure that it's okay. If that's an actual person, I don't think that they're a bad singer. It's perfectly on pitch. It's perfectly whatever, in rhythm, fine. But do I find anything special about it? No. But that being said, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a little bit just like milquetoast, where it's it's just like you're singing, it's all straight tone, you're just singing the correct pitches at the correct time, and we're going to use it for this AI thing. And so it's like, sometimes that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to come out and sing, Wagner. And
it's supposed to be tender, intimate, youthful, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, but it's like, there could just be a little bit. I don't know if you know, it's a Doctor Who Christmas special, and there's a woman who's kind of a crossover artist, and she sings, and then it's like the stars fall from the sky or some shit. I don't know. But it's it's kind of the same, but it's more interesting. Where it's there's a little bit more body. There's a little bit more interest, as opposed to just plunking out notes on a piano. And so it's I don't think she's bad. She did a fine job. Do I think that there's anything particularly compelling about it?
Substance,
Not really.
I find your points very interesting and super valid. I think I present this to you because I wanted to have you see how we're creating performance in a diegetic way, in a diegetic being that it exists within the game. And so it's it's music that's sung in the game, that's part of the game rather than a soundtrack or something.
Well, and if I may, I think that's what I'm missing is what does this mean in what's going on in the game? And so I look at that and I just go, it's fine. It's just a thing. It's not that interesting. If it means something to you, where it's this is the finale, I've been going on this journey and this song means so much to me, I could see somebody being yeah, I really like this song because it's the end of my journey and I spent God knows how many hours getting here, and now it really means something to me. And so that's what I'm trying to say. It's is it my thing? No. Am I going to listen to it? No. But if it means something to someone...
I totally get if it resonates with you, then that's perfectly valid. You don't need approval to enjoy it.
You don't need approval. Yeah. It's if you like the song, you like the song. If you like the singer, you like the singer. It's fine.
Yeah.
So can I say I don't it's not my favorite singer in the world. It's not my favorite song in the world. Who cares?
1,000,000%. Let's keep going. There's a game that's about fighter planes called Ace Combat. And everyone who's watched this knows that I play one every single time. It's totally... when I first heard music from Ace Combat, I was like, okay, this is going to be really lame. It's going to be super mechanical, very whatever. And instead I got this. So this is Archange from Ace Combat 7. Literally, you are fighter plane Jesus.
Protege
I'm getting some more perspective from you, where it's just like, without context, it's kind of hard to say anything. Where it's like, okay, it started off, like, I think all of the performances were fine. I think the performances were good. The music is good. It's a little, the women get a little Queen of the Night popcorny at some point. But like in general, yeah, I like that. But it's like, as we were saying before, if I'm listening to something in my earpods walking to the subway, I wouldn't listen to that. But it's like, if there's a context where it's like, it's a really cool, like, you know, the end to a story in a video game, like, I wouldn't mind that at all.
I think that's one of the key components that we do end up losing here, is that like we take music at face value, but there is something to be said for, like, in this particular instance, you're fighting against this old veteran pilot that they've literally built like the design of drones based on how he flies, and so in this moment it's you against him in a battle between the two of you, and so
yeah, it's a Valkyrie situation. Yeah. So like, I mean, knowing that, I like it more already.
Right.
It's just like, I didn't know, and so it's like, yeah, it's fine. Having some context behind it is really helpful.
We have a couple more tracks. I mean, do you want context? Well, for the things that I know, some of these I just liked, and I was like, I think he might like these, or he might have something to say. Do you want context when I have it, so that you can kind of get, or should we?
Yeah,
honestly.
Well, I don't know. It's up to you.
I actually don't have much context with some of these. So
okay.
Just wing it.
No, we'll wing it.
But that's a great point. But here's the thing, though, and it's an interesting conversation, because I believe that, and one of the things that I really try to preach, I guess, is that context is like a crux, but also we should be able to listen to something at face value, like as it's presented, because otherwise, I mean, okay, let me ask you, do we think that it's healthy and important to be able to listen to a piece of music outside of a given context so that we can connect to it ourselves? Or should we only be having a conversation around these pieces in particular because they're, based on a video game with the context in mind?
This is something that I have realized with myself, where it's like, when I go to the opera, I want to know exactly what's happening. I read the full synopsis. I want to know who's who, where's where, what's what, like everything that's going on, so that I can understand. And usually, because it's in a foreign language, there's a bit of, you can't just watch it and understand what's going on. And so it's like, I want to know everything that's happening. When I go see a movie at the AMC, I want to be surprised. And so that's me. And, other people might feel differently, but it's like, when I'm just going to see a movie, then it's like, I just want to show up, I'm sitting down, I'm watching a movie, and it's like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
When I go to the opera, I want to have all of the information, and that's probably because I, went to school for classical music, and it's like, I want to know all of the information, I want to know the plot line, I want to know when the arias are, X, Y, and Z, like, I do my homework. And so opera for me is not so much entertainment as it is art, I guess I will say.
Like living art. I mean, do you feel like, with this stuff? So with this, it's almost like, are you finding it, well, hopefully it's not too frustrating, but do you find it frustrating because I'm like presenting something to you that clearly needs another layer?
I don't think it's frustrating, but it's like, that's where I'm coming from, I think, is where it's just like, I could take it at face value and be like, yeah, sure, and then I'm never going to hear that again. And I think that's the same thing with opera and a movie, where it's like, with opera, I'm probably going to see this show again and again and again, and so I need to know. With a movie, it's just like, watch it, and then we're done. And so with the thing that you just played, it's like, yeah, I liked it. I think it was good, but it's like, am I going to sit around and think about it and analyze it and, try to understand why the composer did what they did? Probably not, unless I understand what the context is. And then I might think about it a little bit more. Yeah, and that's not a positive or a negative. It's just a fact. It's like, okay, like that was a song. I liked it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and moreover, what's my goal? You know, what am I doing?
What are you doing?
Sharing.
Yeah. The fuck are you doing?
I mean, for me, it's really about the shared value of like, hey, look, this stuff exists. It's like
It exists. Well, and I think that's what's good about it is that people can take it for whatever they want, and they can say like, well, I really appreciated this. I don't give a shit about this. And so, you know, let's either accept it or let's move on. And so I think that's great, actually.
I find it interesting that the piece that you've probably resonated the most with still is Rally.
I know.
I just picked that on a whim, too. I was like, I probably should throw this in.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to play you something kind of wild. You may hate this, and that's okay. This is from a game called Arknights, which is actually a mobile game. Story's incredible in Arknights. Really, really good, well thought out story. But like, it's the type of game where if you want to get the best characters or characters that will make your life a little bit easier, well, that's when you play it a lot, save up in-game currency, spend on it, maybe you get it, maybe you don't, or you swipe the credit card and get it. Complicated subject. I'm not immune to my fair share of swipes.
Neither am I.
But what I will say is because of whales and folks that, you know, whales are people that spend a lot of money, dolphins, so on and so forth. It's like a whole fucking... Because of the popularity of these games in China and in other places around the world, and certainly in the U.S., they've really kind of made a hold for themselves. The music tends to be insanely good. EPs, you know, all sorts of different stuff. So this is actually sung by Chris Mann. Do you know Chris Mann?
I do not know Chris Mann.
He toured. I actually have to email him. He emailed me. Chris Mann, if you're watching, I will email you back. He actually toured on Broadway, Phantom of the Opera. Curious to hear what you think. It's a twist on Hamilton Phantom. It's
well, now you called him out, so I can't say anything bad.
You can say whatever you want, Chris. Don't take it personal. And I will say that these kinds of songs are songs, these EPs, like they are based on characters, so they're kind of character pieces, but they can also be really taken at face value. So maybe that will also change some of that. All right.
This costume fits. Bold colors, let's express it. We'll paint it red. Cut deep on new aesthetic, don't forget it. I am not a scripted actor, not your puppet, not my master. I can drive my new creations on the wings of ever afters. Inherent in the lack of breath, your fallacies have led to this. Don't let it get to my head. Pause and think instead. So I gotta take a minute in the thick of it and reflect upon the story and the final twist. While the knife creates a door, a sort of reclamation, I fear there is no joy in simple transformation, but a whisper in my ear from future selves becoming more myself than I have been when I was just a nothing. When an orphan reeks of talent yet is rot in sadness, a solitaire, a masterpiece, a crimson shade of madness. So I stuck to my ideals and watched you all unravel, and the years taught me to question every lie you'd peddle. And I knew that if I wanted change, I had to meddle. Burnt it all right to the ground, and it helped me settle. I am free, what I choose to be. When I cut away the shadows holding back my dreams. And if I ever fail, I'll be an idol still. I will rise renewed, precision, artist's vision, plant the seeds, and what will grow while crimson afloat. This is my duty to create enigmatic fate. Every picture that I've ever painted has been a twisted joke, a way to comprehend my fate. And now you're standing lonely with no truth behind you. This is you, exactly how I thought I'd find you. Though your words and all your actions caused internal crisis. Tragodia, I came to understand where I sit. And when you fall, it's hard and wet and full of years of no regret. I question if it's really worth the pain your words beget. Your soul in debt despite a moment's satiation. The cold hell of manipulation. Does it take a shadow flickering with light to show me, or a flower bathed in white to dance to get me growing? Does it take a blade to cut through all the lies forgotten? The soul's a tricky thing at times, it can be rotten. Is it evil that I found you out and left you bleeding? A bitter taste from all the bile when I helped stop you breathing. Wandering Victoria with ghosts beside me, a sick parade of silence with my anger rising. Sorry if I left you stunned and waiting in the lobby. Sorry if I wrote new lines, all the old ones stale and corny. Sorry if the curtain opened up to shocking repertory. Intermission's over and we're wrapping up my story. I am free.
No, that's great. I mean, like, he's very good. It's well composed. It's well produced. And so my only question is, if this is going to sound mean, but like, what is the point? Is that just an EP to get people to do it? Is he going to do additional vocals for the game, or is that just a promo?
It's a bit of both. I mean, it's a promo, and also it tells the story of the character. So in theory, if we could look at it two different ways, either it endears a character to the audience more because it has like a musical footprint, or if we really want to be jaded about it, we can say that it's there to coerce people. Now, I don't think I know the composer super well.
Coerce, yeah.
Adam's not writing music so that people spend money, right? But like no composer is like, I gotta manipulate them in their minds. But it certainly as a promo material, it will help people maybe be coerced to spend money or spend the currency that they save in the game.
No, I really like it. It's like, I thought it was really well done. I thought it was well sung. I thought it was well produced. But it's like, how do they take that and ingratiate it into the game? Or do they not have to?
They don't.
They don't have
they
to.
Don't.
Okay, it's just a promo.
As they live.
It's a promo. A promo's a promo.
And
okay.
It's just they're very high quality. And they consistently put out this like very high level stuff
good
like this.
Very good. Yeah.
And unique, I felt, because it's like you have a pseudo operatic, almost musical path.
Yeah, but it's very Lin-Manuel, or it's just like it's speaky, but it's also like you can tell that he can sing, and so it's like I thought it was very good.
This game is called Clair Obscur, Chiaroscuro, Expedition 33. And the conversation around this game has been really incredible, and I have been blown away by this. This is the composer's first work. The whole dev team used to work, two of the devs used to work at a different studio. They create their own studio, and they hire about 33 people, and they create basically one of the best games of this year. This is a story of, essentially, there's a character called the Paintress, and every year she writes a date, a number on the monolith that she kind of sits under, and every year everyone who is that age dies. And so Expedition 33 sets out, because they have 1 year after 34 is killed, which is where we start the game, to finally stop the Paintress. And there have been expeditions going out since years 00, since year 100. This is the opening theme of the game, and this game has 8 hours of music. Very French chanson.
8 hours of music.
Yeah. And this composer actually, funny story, but this composer uploaded some random samples on a music forum that no longer even exists. The producer, the director of the game, the owner of the company, was hopping on there looking for someone and found him. He was a guitar teacher in France. And then now he, has made one of the best soundtracks of the year. Mind-blowing stuff. So this is the opening. It's called Alicia, which is one of the characters in the game. It's a lot of mystery and twists and turns. It's actually a big conversation about grief and life and what our purpose is and how you move on. And
oh God, must we?
It's very French.
Jesus. Well, yeah,
very French.
Well, it's very personal.
This would be the thing that you hear the minute you boot up the game. So there's these main menu themes that play, where essentially they kind of, they're essentially overtures to the musical landscape of the experience, or the emotional integrity of the experience. So, this is a live performance.
We got a Steinway.
This is actually the composer playing.
Oh, nice. obviously that's my favorite from the day. But then my question to you would be, it's like, how do you use that in a video game? And then how do you take that and actually like tour it and, you know, have them perform live? Because that's perfectly acceptable classical music that could be at any venue. And so like, what's the difference between just recording something for a video game and actually touring something around? I don't know the answer.
Based on my understanding, it's like coordinating with groups or organizations. That there's a Final Fantasy concert that goes around, and there's a Nier concert.
I used to do the Final Fantasy concert.
Distant Worlds?
Yeah, I used to do that one. Yeah.
Like, you used to help with touring it?
Back at Opus 3. Yeah.
Really?
Back in the day.
Still going. Arnie and
still going.
You know, they're
okay, good.
Oh yeah,
good.
The Roths, yeah,
good.
Yeah, that's funny. Massively successful, right?
Yeah.
Still, I mean, it's like however many years, 20 plus years.
Yeah, and like we did the Roger Waters opera. We did.
That's right. You did. That's
remember that one?
The
yeah,
Wall.
It's
Yes.
yeah, the Wall. It's like we did a couple of different things, but it's like so like those people in a very classical sense are very good. And so, like, maybe you make your money from the video game, and then you figure out what you can do with the touring. But it's like, you know, who's helping them with the touring?
Well, Aaron,
I mean, those are...
we put you in touch with Fall Studios.
Those are very specific questions, yeah. But it's like, that's great. And it's like, you know, I love that type of music. And it's like, I think they sound great. I understand that it works for a video game. But I think that, that's the kind of thing where you see there's more potential there where they can do other things.
Yeah.
And that's not to diminish what they're doing, because what they're doing is great. But they can also, like, do more standard repertoire, and you boost it and you tour it around. And
there's no reason why Alicia, I mean, it could technically be an audition aria with piano. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, that's Alicia. There are tracks for every major character. And, like, there's a character, I don't want to spoil it, but like just for the sake of people watching, but there's another one called Aline, which is another basically aria. And I think this particular, I mean, this was in the Billboard, so it came out in May. This was in the Billboard like top like 15 classical music albums.
Good.
The thing is, like, it's 8 hours. It is incredibly diverse.
Yes.
There's EDM in it. There's hard rock. There's one piece. I mean, I can play you more if you want to hear more of that. There's more. I mean, I can
wait
about some of this other stuff.
But no, that's interesting. Like, if I'm playing a video game and I'm hearing that, then it's like I'm very happy.
There is a huge amount of potential for touring these classical pieces. You know, I think the harder rock parts are a little bit harder. But like, can I play you one more?
Yeah, please.
This is actually the city theme. So this is the theme that plays in the city. And again, I mean, this is like a pretty sad place because when the Paintress takes over, the continent gets split up and separated. So they live in this city called Lumiere, you know, light, and they are isolated. And so they have to cross this ocean that has been created by the Paintress. So imagine if, like, let's say Paris or France is sort of split off from the rest of Europe. And they have to cross this channel, and what awaits them is, you know, actually Andy Serkis of all people. It's hilarious. Mm-hmm. He's in the game, yeah, it's very interesting. Let me just play you Lumiere. We don't have to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Dim, dam, da, di, lam, vacarme, s'en va dans l'oubli éternel. Gustav, dom guardiam, dilim, didididilam, lutes sera dodilom, seram, dim, dim, da, 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 dim, da, 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 dim, da, di, dam, dim, dim, da, 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 dim, da, 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 dim, da, di, dam. Dans là-haut sera ravi, les toits à ce noir gris fera.
No, that's all right. I'm done. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
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 That's really cool.
I mean, that's-
and the videography is great. Is just like everything about it is good.
Great. I'm glad you like that. That's
No, I like that very much.
So there's a piece from a game. I actually don't know the context of this game because it pretty much the game died on impact. Like it was dead in the water. It lasted like a year and then it shut down. More than a year, but it wasn't very long. But when I tell you that this is like probably, other than Clair Obscur at this point, which is a different style, this Babylon's Fall has got to have the most classically rooted. This is like as tenor aria, like from like a Verdi Requiem that I can possibly imagine in a game. And it's actually bananas how hard the soundtrack goes in the classical angle without the game actually ever being successful enough, and the game shut down. So this is like this series, like no one's talking about this music. It's dead. It just exists in the ether, right? This is called Prelude to Reclamation. You'll hear what I mean. It's like a Mozart meets Puccini meets Verdi meets Wagner. It's crazy.
We're gonna find out.
I've set it up pretty highly.
You
but
did.
let's see what you think. What the fuck? Someone even wrote, "Thanks, Mr. Meatball." Thanks, Marco Meatball. That's hilarious. Oh my god, there's so many. We're gonna listen to the whole thing. No stopping here. Just give it a second.
I will give you a second. This is going on the playlist. Get it, girl. Come on.
Hold on.
Go for it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Christ. This isn't a video game?
Yeah, a dead game that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, it should exist.
Yeah.
Come on. Okay, a little too staccato, but okay. I mean, come on. Top suffers a little, but okay. Yeah, I would listen to this all day long.
Yeah?
Yeah! I mean, it's not perfect, but...
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, the fact that someone created that
Totally.
for... Hyun Kim composed that for a video game of all things. You know?
I mean, for fuck's sake.
So, okay, we've just listened to like 11 plus pieces, a variety of genres, styles, time
A
periods.
smattering.
What do you think you've come away with this? Like, has anything has anything changed for you? Have you thought about, do you think about games in a different way? Or like, what's sort of percolating?
No, kidding.
I was about to say.
It's like,
Alright, well.
and interview over. No, it's interesting to see. It's like there are a lot of different ways that people can approach this, and some of them very traditional, some of them modern, some of them a smattering of other things, and the fact that you're taking people into the world of classical music as it relates to video games is really cool. I don't know if I had anything really significant to offer, but I'm glad that you're doing this, and I'm glad that people are listening to it, and I'm glad that people are being exposed to classical music in a different way. And so I really appreciate what you're doing. Like, it has nothing to do with me. I really appreciate what you're doing, and I think it's really cool, and I'm really super proud of you, and I'm glad that it's happening, and I'm glad that it's popular.
Yeah, in some ways it feels like
Like and subscribe.
in some ways it feels like it's sort of like all those years of, I mean, I'll admit, like, I had undiagnosed obsessive compulsive disorder when we knew each other, and like, I had a lot of stuff going on, and the anxiety I felt every day, in some ways I feel like opera has sort of paid my dues, and now I'm like, I get to take what I suffer. I mean, I really suffered, physically, emotionally, and I know you understand.
A lot of people have, that's not to say that your suffering is less than anyone else's.
No.
It's like it's serious. It's a lot of people suffer.
It's a real
through this industry. Yeah,
I appreciate you very much for saying that. Do you think that you would want to listen to more video game music after this experience?
Yes, yes, I will.
Yeah, that's cool.
Send me a meatball playlist.
And thank you everybody for watching this. Check out thirdbridgemedia.com, which is Aaron's site. He's very busy and very, very talented and very good at what he does. So thank you, Aaron.
I appreciate that.
For doing this. Nice to see you again. And thank you everybody for watching. We'll see y'all later.
All right, love you, buddy. Bye.
Take care.